Hello everyone, Bill Parish from GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Well, today we're here with good friend Joe Kubala. Joe, welcome to the channel.
Hello everybody, how you doing?
It's great to have you here. Joe called me this morning, asked me if I had some time to listen to a couple of things. We do this all the time, back and forth. Really, it's easy to be a friend with a guy who's got the best stuff.
He's right.
but yeah, no. So we go back and forth. Hey, I got something new. I could use your ears on it as well. And it's there's a real camaraderie there, and
it's benefited both of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as today, I was listening to some things after you had already come up with your conclusion, and I think I was spitting back to you exactly what you had.
I asked him if he had cheated and looked at my notes from yesterday,
which he didn't bring along. But so we were in demo room 4.
Yes.
Demo room 4, and I know when,
your original demo room.
Yes, where GTT all started. And I told Joe, usually every system's on, but we had some storms rolling through last night, and I had shut the systems off, and I said, there's only one system on, but yeah, come over. I said, we'll do it in demo room 4. And I know there was a little bit of hesitation there.
Would have preferred to be in 1, but
here in the big room. But we were talking, and we've been doing this together since 2004.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And that's where we did the original.
Well, actually, I visited you as a customer before then.
Right, but I mean, getting together and listening and doing some comparisons. And, there's a great saying, old Teddy Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know if he knew about audio back then. I know what he was trying to say, and he was certainly right in a lot of ways. But apples to apples, A/B comparisons. When you need to make some decisions,
there's times you do need to compare.
Yeah, you do need to.
But as a general statement, it would be nice if the industry, if the hobby in general, spent more time listening to music instead of comparing things.
Well, isn't that the truth? I mean, we certainly know people that the only time they listen is to do a comparison or to do the old shootout.
Yeah.
And anyway, but yeah, demo room 4. I made the comment in there. We sat and we talked about it. That system, every single component in there is significantly better than the best things that were available back in 2004.
And now it's number 4 room.
That's number 4 room.
But you're right. When we first started together, we did not have a system that gave us the ability to do the types of comparisons we did today in terms of the resolution and the ability to hear.
Right.
I mean, not to keep a secret, but we were comparing different outlets.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a project going on where we're thinking about using some different outlets, and we compared 3 different outlets, and you could easily see and hear the difference between them. We were surprised, actually.
Well, surprised that, we figure, you should always be able to hear in a high-res system, hear the difference between anything. But these were massive, massive differences. And, night and day differences. Whether one guy preferred one thing over another and, what's closer to music, that all could be, subjective. But,
of course.
But the differences between 3 AC outlets was astonishing. And don't call me and ask me what brand I prefer.
I didn't let them know what brands they were.
Trade secrets. But yeah, so that's what we do. And I asked Joe, I said, hey, I shot a video yesterday, still set up there. Would you mind joining me for a discussion? And here we are. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. It's the Seinfeld episode. It's a show about nothing.
Did you?
Now, Joe, one of the topics that people have been bringing up to me is about the trade shows. And, there's... They're very fluid. I mean, things are always changing. Munich is now going to be the last year, so I guess we should just call it high-end Europe.
Well, that is the name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. High-end, and so
we just always refer to it as the Munich.
The
show.
Munich show. That's going to be
Vienna,
Austria. Should be really nice. But
one of the advantages. To me, the Munich show has always been the best show in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons for that is the venue. The venue just is laid out in such a way that it's very different from what we're used to doing here in the U.S. Very different from what CES was, and it lends to it. Well, the good news is apparently the Vienna facility is very much like the MOC in Munich.
That's what I heard. Yes.
I mean, if you look at the floor plans, it's got a lot of similarities. And so hopefully it is a step forward for the show.
Let's hope so as far as sounding rooms, too. The sound of the rooms. I mean, the corrugated tin roofs and the glass walls.
Sound wasn't a positive for Munich.
No. Didn't do anyone any favors over there in Munich as far as sound was concerned. But that's not really what Munich was all about.
Nope. As a business-to-business show, it was fantastic.
But, I know that U.S. shows have wanted to be, what's going to be the U.S. Munich. And I think Expona has really solidified that.
Yeah, they've carved that out, I think.
And I know they have, because now I hear of other show organizers wanting to give Expona a run for their money. So that's when you know that you're king. So
when you're target.
Yeah. When you're the target. So if Expona's listening, great job. And I know we love Expona.
Oh, it's a great show.
But how many shows can you go to a year?
Well, I think we came out of the pandemic with so few shows that we've started to fill the vacuum everywhere. There's regional shows everywhere now.
I mean, there's one this month in Florida. There's one next month in Texas. There's one the following month. That's Expona. Then there's Munich. Then there's THE in Irvine, I believe, Newport Beach area. I don't know what's going on, and then maybe we get a couple of months off, and then in September it starts up again.
Yep.
There's no way that.
But to differentiate just a little bit, most of the shows that you've mentioned are local/regional shows.
Yes.
Expona's become a national show, in fact, an international show.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So we're not going to be at the Florida show. We're going to be, Dick's going to be down supporting our dealer, Superfy, Scott Warren, down in Dallas. He'll have Vivid Audio, AudioNet, and Mola on display down there. So that'll be good. I think you told me that you're going.
Well, the same is true for us, by the way. In these local and regional shows, it's usually our local dealer that supports the shows. And in this case, we've been invited to join Crystal Clear Audio in Dallas for the show in Dallas.
Yeah. And then now Expona, we have our own rooms. I mean, there's the GTT room, the Kubala-Sosna room. We do them together, but we're not participating with retailers there.
Right.
We're doing it with our own name and face. And yeah, that is really the show. I'm really looking forward to it.
Always do.
Yeah.
Just like CES was a good thing until all the bad stuff started happening to CES. But that was a show to look forward to every year. Expona's the same.
Timing wasn't especially great. I mean, you went through Christmas and New Year, and then right after New Year's, you were on the... I mean, I remember...
It was the first weekend after New Year, right? That's when it was. The first weekend after New Year.
Yes. And...
So January 2nd, you were leaving for the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in 2001, I had I had my oldest son born
Oh,
on 01/01/01.
oh boy.
And on January 2nd, I had to get on a plane.
There you go.
Maybe that's why I'm divorced.
What choice did you make, sir?
Took another 7 years to get there, but yeah. Anyway, I think there's too many shows, but as you said, and that's what really has to be defined, and really what some of the organizers need to realize as well, as there are national shows and then there are regional shows. And not everybody can go to every show. I mean, just logistically with shipping doesn't work unless you have multiple systems. And to me, it's more about time. I mean, we've got to have time in the office to actually work.
Very much true.
You know, and you to develop products and that. What else would you like to talk about? What's important out there?
That's a very good question. As I think about the lay of the landscape right now, I see a definite trend first to the analog side, and now with advances that have been made on the digital side, there's a swing, I think, back to some digital products. There's great sound on both of those platforms at this point in time. I mean, generational type differences.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
I mean, what you're really talking about is technological advances in the sources.
Absolutely.
In the sources. With what Louis done with Kronos, as far as his turntables, then it was the ARM, and now his new Discovery Phono Stage.
Well, don't forget the SCPS.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Right,
after
yeah.
the tables was the SuperCap power supply.
Yep.
And, yeah, this is...
I mean, these have been paradigm shifting changes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, the audio analysts a couple weeks ago dropped a video on the Discovery Phono Stage, and he said the same thing we're saying.
Yep.
And then as far as digital's concerned, I mean, products like the Mola Mola Tambaki, which has been out for a little while, which I know they're not changing. People are always asking that, but it was built 10 years future-proof, you know? I mean, it's and then the Master Fidelity NADAC DNC.
Well, yeah. The Tambaki is a phenomenal product.
Yep.
The NADAC is another paradigm shift.
Yeah, it's changed the landscape.
Yep.
It's changed the landscape. And guys, when you hear, you know, everything in the system is important, but you usually get your biggest bang for your bucks changing the source. The source is where it's at. Joe, when we get a call and someone wants to do, I want one power cord from you, where do I put it? It's always the source.
Start with the source.
If I'm going to buy one interconnect, where do I put it? It's between the DAC and the preamp. That's where you always get the biggest bang. Yep. The source. It makes sense.
Yes. If you don't start with the best signal,
you can't make it up.
Yeah.
You cannot make it up. So you've got to get it right up front. So, yeah.
And from a manufacturer's perspective, when products like this appear in the marketplace, whether it's a new generation of speakers or the new sources like the Kronos or the NADAC, it makes our job easier in terms of developing our next product because, like we did downstairs today, we can hear the differences much more easily. And so it allows you to produce a product that much better than your last generation because you can appreciate that difference in a system.
Yes, absolutely. For sure. I mean, I'm just thinking here. With cables, that system was under $55,000.
How spoiled are we that we're saying that's cheap, right?
Well, it's not cheap. I mean, it's I don't know if anyone.
It's only 55,000.
It's not pocket change. I don't know anyone carrying around that in their pocket. But
And I just want to let you know, if you wanted to, you could put $55,000 worth of cables on that system.
Yeah, or 155,000. But when we're talking about, I mean, we're in our room now with
a little more than that.
Well, million core, 1.25. And a lot of guys' systems that we're selling to are in the $600,000 to $800,000 range. It's sort of, we sell super systems.
Yep.
We sell super systems, and when we hear the type of performance that we heard today out of a system in that price range, it's astonishing where the industry has come.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's very few people that would not actually be satisfied with the music we heard this morning. Right?
I think yeah. If
some may have chosen it as their primary system, some may have chosen it as their office system, but what we heard this morning for $55,000 was world-class-ish. Not this, but it was very good sound. Very good sound.
Yeah. It gets to the point to where you ask yourself, what didn't it do?
That's right.
Yeah. It sort of did everything. Do we know where there could be improvement? Certainly. But it's something that you could live with.
Well, like I've said to many customers over the years when we talk about, well, where should I be in your line of cables? I'd often say, look, if you filled up your system with fascination, you'd say, what else could I want? That's music. But then if you plugged in emotion, you go, oh, I get it. It's better. And that's what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it gets to the point of once you
how much you're willing to spend for better.
Yeah. Don't listen to it if you can't afford it, because it's hard to forget it.
Yep.
Right?
I remember when I bought my first system and when I first got married, I said to my wife, if we can't afford it, let's not listen to it, because I don't want to go home thinking I bought second best.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, this has been fun. Thank you for this conversation and joining in the channel. We should do this a few more times.
Love to do it.
It's just
there was no script. We didn't know what we were going to say, and here we are.
No, I think you guys know me. Get to know Joe. I mean, we're just real guys having a lot of fun
and enjoying this hobby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hope you do too.
Thanks, guys. Take care. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Take care.